Morning, and I'm in the goat house. Not to be confused with being in the dog house, that's totally different. This is a lot more enjoyable. So it's time for another goat house update. Toon was supposed to be recording this video this morning, but alas, she's bedridden. She's got a touch of food poisoning. I did tell her yesterday, perhaps those cockles weren't as fresh as they might be. I won't be eating the filth, but she did, and lo and behold, she's been up all night, so she's got a bit of a lay in this morning, well, longer than usual. So I thought, right, Lee, grab the camera and do an update. To be perfectly frank with you, there's not a huge amount of difference since the last update I did, but there's one big difference. So I'm going to go inside and show you what the guys have done. The guys still haven't been back for quite some time. It's just the nature of the beast, you know. The guys doing the main build has got farms that he's renting, and we've had a little bit of rain most days, not a huge amount, but he's had to rip all his old cassava out, replow, and he's just started putting some new stuff in. So it's still going to be a few days before Nalur can come back and his trusty sidekick. Just one of those things, you know, if you want one particular tradesman, then sometimes you have to wait for him. He's still on board, we're still fine with him. It's just we've got to be patient. I'm going to go in now and show you all around. After that, stick around, because I've got an important bit of information right at the end where you guys can actually have an input on how to shape the future of our farm. So I'm not asking for money or anything like that. It's a bit more fun than that. Right, let's get our asses in there then. Check out the apples and pears. Right, got to watch my swede here so I don't scalp myself. So the main thing, or the main progress that's been made, is the fencing all the way around. Talk about made to measure, look at that. So it's 1.2 meters high, and that is looking pretty good. Most of the time in Thailand, when you see this sort of fencing used in these builds, it's attached to metal, and they just stick it all together with welding. The guys working together got it nice and tight, and it's looking pretty good. I've got my old pull-up bar here, so I'm doing my 200 pull-ups every morning on here. So apart from that, the access steps are now complete. I think on the last video this side was still to do. One of you guys did ask a question that I really struggled to answer. Why do goats need handrails when they have hooves? I still haven't got the answer to that question. For those of you that are health and safety literate from the UK, that is not quite meeting the standard minimum height for hand railing. But remember, Toon is very short, so it's not too, that comes up to her neck. But me, not quite so much, so Bullseye could easily tip me over the edge there. I don't think they'll jump for it. There's two access sides, so they'll be straight down there. But yeah, very happy with the access. That was Toon's idea, to put two sides in. What we have noticed, and this should help, let me just get back down here. On our first house, because goats certainly have a pecking order, and we've only got one access side, there's always a bit of a bottleneck, and the doorway, although it's wide enough for us and a couple of goats to squeeze in, there's always a bit of a power struggle. So we've left this a little bit wider, and combined with the two access sides, we think that'll be fine for them to get in a little bit easier at night. Otherwise there's like a Mexican standoff at the gateway. Jobs that are left remaining still to do, it's just really the gate on here. There's nothing else left to do, other than I said to Turner I'd quite like a little cabinet put in here, probably on the, oh, I'm going up the apples and pears again. Didn't think about that, did I? Where we've got these centre posts here, maybe on one of these, nice and high up, we'll put a medicine cabinet, so for their inoculations and vaccines and boosters and all that sort of thing, we can put everything in there. We're also planning to rehome our smaller solar system Tie builders leaving rubbish out? No chance. Where was I? Yes, we're also planning moving the smaller solar system out here. So we're going to be running electric off here for obviously lighting, but also our mosquito repellent. So there'll be a bit of an install of the solar panel on top of the roof, and then putting up the new inverter box and rehousing the batteries. Not too sure about where we're going to put the batteries yet. We don't want them nibbling them, and we certainly don't want them peeing on them, so we'll have to think about that. Two other things that may happen. One is like a little feeding station in here. The reason we're not totally 100% sure whether we're going to do that or not is because eventually we would like to put another roof going outwards from here, and we'd like to set up the table. So that will be the feeding table where all their food, their tin, gets laid on top of it so they can eat round the sides and underneath. They will have somewhere that's out of the rain. Prior to that we were thinking, oh well, when it's bad weather we need to be able to set up something to feed them in here. But they do fight more when they're inside the house. If you put food in here, there's definitely a power struggle going on. So that's maybe something that we'll reconsider and move it outside. The last thing is whether we actually put any little birthing rooms out here. The reason being that we're not in a rush to do that is because at the moment we're quite happy to keep the mums and kids up at the other goat house. So it's something that may happen here in the future, but at the moment we want to keep them nice and close to the house, and then you can hear the girls when they start to go into labour, and if there's any problems at all, sometimes the kids still get separated from the mums. It can all kick off a little bit. So although we can still hear them out here from the house, I mean it looks far on the video but it's not that far really. We would like to be a little bit closer so we can react a little bit quicker. Sometimes the noises of the does just going into labour, they don't start off particularly loud, and even some of the does, by the time you get there it's all done and dusted anyway. Like Blackie and Jessie, they hardly made a noise. So having them near our house, near our bedroom, you can react a little bit quicker and you can hear the girls that aren't quite so noisy. Right, I was just about to flip the camera around and talk about the other thing that I mentioned at the start of the video, but the battery on my gimbals just ran out. So great vlogging, didn't check that before I switched on. So I'm just holding my gimbal like a right, so you'll have to put up with me just trying to hold it and not shake too much. Okie dokie then, the bit that I want to talk to you about, and I'm quite excited, still sort of related to goats, is Goat Island. Yes, it's all done. We've got to fabricate the gate access onto here, but the guys will be doing that when they come to do the goat house gate as well. So you can see it's still barren because we haven't put any seed out. Yes, we are getting some showers now, but they're still very, very light. And although all our neighbouring farmers are convinced that the rains are here, I'm not 100% sure. So we're still going to hold fire on putting the seed out. Now it's the seed that I want to talk to you guys about. At the moment we've got a few kg of various grass seed and a few other bits and bobs, but it's nowhere near enough to do this island. Now we're not looking for a handout or anything like that. I mean, grass seed is not expensive. Well, I suppose it is if you're going to do a golf course and you wanted some absolute mint grass. All this is for is to cover the ground up and to create an edible carpet for the goats to munch on during the day. So if you would like to take advantage of this opportunity to select some seed, now it can be grass seeds, it could be a packet of mixed seed, it could be wild flowers, it could be stuff that grows just a few inches high, it can be stuff that could grow quite big. So anything really. What we're looking for is an absolute mix. Anything that the goats don't fancy will just get chopped down by me with a scythe, and then it'll just break down as carbon into the soil anyway. So don't worry whether the goats will like it or not. We just need to get this area covered up. You can see the old grass coming up on the lower shelf all the way round now, and some up here. It doesn't take long at all. As soon as we've had a little drop of rain, it's just greening up. Now I have been checking the soil, if you can call it soil. Yeah, it looks a little bit moist on top, but you only have to go about 3 inches down and it's still bone dry. So really that's the reason that I don't want to be too hasty in sowing the seeds. So there is a small window of opportunity to send us a packet or two of whatever you fancy. It could be that you've got something in your garden or on your farm that's gone to seed. Just grab a few handfuls of that, and what I'll do, I'll put our address written in Thai into the description below this video. I'll also pin it in the top comment as well, and all you need to do is copy and paste that and print a label off, or get the missus to copy it out and fire it to us. So in years to come, well, hopefully months to come, when I'm walking around with the goats and the camera, you'll be like, oh, I bought that seed, look at that. If you are in Thailand, of course, it's a little bit easier. I'm not sure about sending seed overseas, but if you're in Thailand and you've got seedlings or young trees, we are looking for trees to plant all over the place. Don't concern yourselves that the goats will eat them. Any new planted trees, they will take an interest in them, so we will be putting some temporary fencing around those. Like our palms, you know, we just make sure that they don't nibble on the palms when I'm walking around with them. I don't want to fence those off, because they're starting to rocket now. We're getting a drop of rain, so once they're big enough, they can't affect that. So yeah, anything that you... Oh, I can't hold my gimbal right, getting bloody RSI. You can see we are going to require quite a few kg of seed. And to show our level of appreciation, I've come up with a particularly good idea. Very, very proud of this. We're going to do the Pang Farm Wall of Help. So we've got a spare wall that's blank at the moment, back near the outside kitchen. I'm going to paint that and paint loads of bricks on it. And anyone that's helped us so far, whether it be through Patreon, PayPal, people that have visited here, people that have already given us seeds or anything to help towards the farm, like my hat, then you're going to get plonked on there. So there's quite a few people already, but I think I've got enough room for about 50 or 60 bricks on there, and we're going to put your names on there. For those of you that would prefer to stay incognito, do not worry, we will only put your first name and the first letter of your surname on the brick. So if your name was something like Dick Edward, then all you'd see is Dickie. Our Host Seasons canal barge holiday location is still not filling up. When you see the rain hit the soil, it's amazing. It just evaporates within about 5 seconds. So we need the proper lake filling rains to come. They will come, but when, I have no idea. Me bloody shadow again. Bad vlogging, Lee. Mind you, look at the sky. We're getting a short shower nearly every day now, anywhere from 30 seconds long up to about half an hour. We've had one heavy downpour which lasted about 20 minutes or so. It's enough to just about sustain what's growing, but you can see everything's just on hold until the roots are well sorted, and then stuff's going to really skyrocket, hopefully. I know some of you guys follow Toon on her YouTube channel, Toon Gallagher. We put a video on there late last night. Jesus, 48 minutes long, I think. She's in full rant.
แล้วกูจะใส่ไม่ใส่ตลอดเวลาหรือกูจะใส่บางเวลามันทำให้มึงหายใจไม่ออกหรอต้องมานั่งนินทาเขา
Believe me, it's YouTube gold. We sat there watching it with her, and she was giving me a live translation on what she was saying. Unfortunately, guys, there's no translation subtitles on there. I just can't warrant doing another one of those videos. It takes so long, even with me being 100% fluent with Thai language. I just can't take a day out just to edit a video for translations. But if you've got a Thai girlfriend or wife, I'm sure there's a good chance that they may enjoy and have a bit of a giggle on what Toon's talking about. It's basically about the prejudices against a Thai woman by fellow Thai people when they marry a Phalang. And yeah, she gives about 3 or 4 accounts of what she's experienced over here. If your missus is quite prim and proper and doesn't like swearing and abrasive characters, perhaps not so much. Yeah, I think people will enjoy it. So yeah, if you could put it under the nose of your missus, she can check it out. Hopefully they'll check out the other videos that she's got on her channel. She doesn't get an awful lot of views. It's difficult, but obviously, because I've got to try and optimize everything for Thai. But she's doing okay. She gets a bit disheartened because she hasn't got 300 subscribers yet. I did say to her, perhaps if you stop swearing quite so much, you might get a few more. Or perhaps it's the other way around. If she ups her swearing, then she'll get some more. Right, let's get back, Lee, and I'm going to start editing this video while I'm listening to Iron Butterfly. That's a nice, gentle track to listen to early in the morning. If you've missed any of the other goat house build updates, I'll put a playlist link at the end of this video. Just click on that and it'll take you straight there. Don't forget, guys, I've popped our address written in Thai to the top pinned comment under this video and also in the description. And we look forward to receiving your seed. Ta-ra for now.